Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast That Wouldn't Die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool would give up a chance for a 30% discount.
These are the armies of the night.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
The Furies. The Boppers. The Hi-Hats. The Lizzies. The Turnbull ACs. The Gramercy Riffs.
Riffs! Yeah, right!
And these are the Warriors.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Hello.
This week, we're discussing the gang, the gang action movie, The Warriors, starring Michael Beck. You got James Remar. You got Deborah Van Valkenburg, who you may remember from Too Close for Comfort. She's in there,
Dude,
prominently displayed.
Totally recognized her. She was bringing her A game here.
Bringing her A game, doing her thing. What? Each week on the podcast That Wouldn't Die, we discuss guilty pleasures of and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genres with a comedic twist. Aaron, what's the latest with you?
Dude, I went and saw Hokum on Saturday for Mother's Day.
And
Dude.
how was it?
And this is what's wrong with America, critical thinking. I got into some words with some people on TikTok over it, so I'll
Is it
share
bad?
that with you later. I thought it was fucking terrible. Even my child agrees with me. We sat, and this I have become so bad because I'm used to being able to have a piece of paper to write down all my thoughts. So since we're at the movies, I kept like nudging my son. Why are they doing that? What's that? That doesn't make any sense. But since there were only 6 people at the movies, I didn't feel
problem.
that bad. Not a problem.
Fair. I know nothing about Hokum. I've heard it. I heard it's like whenever a new horror movie comes into theaters and I've heard of it, I'm like, ooh, put up my feelers. But you're saying hard pass.
Hard pass. You figure Ireland, a writer, a witch, a haunted hotel. I'm down. I paid my human money and we went midday to go see this. I think it's opening weekend. There was like 6 people there. Maybe they were all waiting to take their mothers for the nighttime show. But that is not the case. Literally, I think it's a critical thinking. Or it was made for 15-year-olds. And you know, I have a problem with Adam Scott.
I think you've mentioned that.
I don't care for Adam Scott. And I was watching him, and he looks kind of scruffy. And I was like, you know, he looks a little bit like Gary Oldman here. And then I thought, all of a sudden, a bolt of lightning. I'm like, oh, this would have been so much better with Gary Oldman. Damn it.
Back in the 80s era, Gary? Or are you talking about
no,
right now?
Now all scruffy and I mean, it's a depressed, haunted writer. That could be Gary Oldman right this very second, right
100%.
now.
Without the camera turned on, frankly.
Yeah, they got Adam Scott money. They don't have Gary Oldman money.
Oh, I like Adam. If you're listening, I enjoy your work. How about that? Step Brothers. Anyway.
Yeah.
Fair. So I'm taking a pass. I'm telling people to go see number one, if you have not seen 28 Years Later and its sequel, The Bone Temple, you should do that. They were both
Is that related to
surprisingly
the
good.
Bone Daddy?
It's 100%. I always say when I was in college, I called my dorm room the Bone Temple, and people seem to appreciate it. So
William kept trying to take me to go see the Project Hail Mary, and that just sounded awful to me.
You didn't see Project Hail Mary?
No.
Oh, sweet
I don't
Jesus.
see that. I don't see
You hate
nothing.
Ryan Gosling
I'll
is your issue.
I
Do you
don't
hate
really
him?
see him as much of an actor. I don't hate him.
You hate him a little.
I hate Chris Pine. Oh no, I'll let you know. Do you think I'm being shy about actors I like and don't like? No.
Don't keep it inside, Aaron. Tell us how you really feel.
I don't care for Chris Pine.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's it. Pine catching shots. He's not even involved in this. He's just walking down the street going, what the hell did I do?
But I literally saw something on TikTok 5 minutes ago about Chris Pine. About what is it? Who his father is, or something like that.
His father was the captain on Chips.
Yeah.
I knew
so that's why that was in my mind. And you know what? I was not team Larry Wilcox. I was team Eric Estrada. He had
of course. This is what we talked about. It's like they set up these shows. It's supposed to be two equals, but one of them is clearly much more interesting. Right?
Absolutely.
It's like Alan Alda on MASH and whoever the hell the other guy is. Right? McLean
You get
Stevenson.
into a car accident. Who do you want rolling up on you? Larry Wilcox? He's going to start crying when he sees how jacked up you are. Eric Estrada is going to rip the door off and drag you to safety.
Look, in Chips, they had Eric Estrada like diffusing bombs and shit. He was hostage negotiation.
Yeah, boom.
He was handling all the shit. And he'd do a little disco dancing at the end of the episode with the ladies. He was doing his thing. You're right. If you're
and then went on to this whole other career. He had to learn Spanish to go be on Mexican soap operas.
Not true. He didn't speak Spanish. That's hilarious. Old Eric Estrada.
He had to learn Spanish. He was speaking it phonetically. Didn't speak a lick.
Star of Airport 75. Again, another movie we've discussed on this show.
Didn't he get sucked out the window after like?
He did. Well, no, the co-pilot got sucked out. He was the navigator. Some shit fell on him. And that was the end of it. Jared Black had to handle it after that. Anywho,
womp.
Give us your 30-second synopsis of The Warriors.
All right. Organized crime in New York. Having a little convention. They realize there's like 100,000 of them and 20,000 cops. So they're coming together for a meeting of the minds. It kind of reminded me of old Hill Street Blues when they would have these truces and these meetings and everything of all the rival gangs. But, you know, when you're dealing with antisocial personality disorder, of course, something goes terribly wrong and somebody kills the leader and leaks it to deflect their guilt that it must be the Warriors. So now the Warriors are 27 miles away from home because it's greater New York. They didn't roll up in a jalopy. They got to take public transportation.
No one owns a car.
So
it's expensive.
Apparently nobody has a car in New York. So God love them. They do their best. For the most part, they're good guys, except they always have to have one rapey dude. Thank you, James Remar, who looks like he's 19, except for the rape in his eyes, who gets picked up by the police before he gets raped. There is no nudity. There is very little violence. And I remember being terrified watching the ads for this.
This was a thing. I mean, you got to remember, when this movie came out, the reputation of New York was it was a goddamn hellhole. It's like Death Wish.
Yeah.
If you rode on the subway,
70s New York, brother.
Yes.
70s New York.
100%. If you're living in New York, there's at least a 50% chance Jeff Goldblum is going to do a home invasion and rape your wife and turn your child into a catatonic freak. So
That
it's a
scene
whole
was
thing.
so traumatic to me that I'm like, I'm glad he cleansed his career after that.
100%. 100%. So yeah, evidently, and this movie is especially progressive because every gang is multicultural. They're all multiracial. There's white guys in the gang. There's black guys. There's Hispanic guys.
The Warriors is multicultural. All the other gangs are very specifically segregated.
Only the Gramercy Riffs are uniformly black. The Turnbull ACs, there's some white skinheads and black
skinheads.
Some of them there were black Turnbull ACs as well. The Orphans, they were black, they were Hispanic, they were white. It was just the Gramercy Riffs. They were all
Dominican.
That's possible. It's possible. I like that you called it organized crime. These are street gangs. This isn't like the Five Families. This isn't Sopranos or something.
I mean, it's basically they're organized in their way, but it's gangs, and it's highly creative gangs. But like I said, I did appreciate that they are multicultural. You don't think of gangs as that.
100%.
Absolutely, especially the Warriors. Because I think there's only 2 white guys in the Warriors.
There's the Warrior. You got Michael Beck and Jerry. Jesus Christ, James Remar.
Not but Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. You also had Cowboy. You had Vermin. There were a few other dudes that were white in the group as well.
They kind of knocked out early, so I forgot about them.
They traditionally, growing up, in decidedly non-gang areas, the way it works traditionally is your gang is your neighborhood, right? All the kids in the neighborhood form a gang because that's what teenage boys do.
As we learned in West Side Story, when you're a jet all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying days.
Fair. As we all have determined. But the thing about it is, if you're a street gang, it's like you're a criminal. They're like robbing and potentially murdering people.
That's what they're organizing. They're organizing as like the super mega criminal organization, and they're gonna basically hold New York for ransom.
When this movie came out in the late 70s, there was literally a panic. People thought this movie was encouraging street gang violence. Like theaters didn't want to show this movie. This was like Boys in the Hood. Do you remember when Boys in the Hood came out and people were getting shot like in the theaters? Yeah. This was the proto.
How about when the Joker came out and people were getting shot? It's like, what's wrong with the world?
I mean, just seeing the Joker made me want to shoot myself. So, God, horrible. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, but this was a big. I mean, it was a hit. Okay, and I remember vaguely. Didn't our brother Pat dress up as one of the Baseball Furies for Halloween one year? Tell me I'm wrong.
Who didn't? The Furies were like the shit. It's like they're dressed as Kiss, but they're wearing New York Yankee uniforms, and their weapon of choice is, of course, baseball bats.
And yet they all got their asses kicked by like 2 Warriors.
By James Remar at the age of 19 is kicking ass and taking names.
Against 10 guys with baseball bats. He's unarmed. He handles his biz. So there you go. Good on James Remar. When he's not raping, he's kicking ass.
I like that he gets arrested. He tries to get a little rapey, and boom! I thought it was one of the Lizzies, which I think they actually meant to say Leslie's, but someone told you can't say that. And immediately he gets handcuffed. I was like, perfect.
And did you recognize the woman that he attempts to rape?
I know I recognize her, but now that you asked me, tell me.
It's Academy Award winner Mercedes Ruehl. from such things as The Fisher King and Married to the Mob. Good stuff.
No.
She was in, she's in a ton of shit. If you saw her,
I didn't see any of those.
Oh,
but I did. She did look familiar to me. And then you said Mercedes Ruehl, and I was like, oh.
What's funny about that scene is it's really not. It's not as rapey as you think, based upon how we're describing it. Because she's basically like going, "Hey, come on, big boy, let's do this." And he kind of grabs her, and she's like, "Not so rough." He's like, "Well, I kind of like it rough. That's how I want it." That was his thing.
He's like, "I like it rough."
I'm not trying to support James Remar because he was obviously a horrible rapist in this movie. But if the lady's like, "Let's do this," and then you go like, "Sounds good," the can't say, "Okay, now you're under arrest for rape." Wait, hang on. You said let's do this a second ago. What are we talking about? I guess a woman can change her mind. I support women. Believe all women.
And if you're already getting it for free, can't you at least follow some brief instructions? Hey,
be a nice guy, right? A little wine.
Nice, don't be an out. Yeah,
light some candles.
He was. I mean, James Remar in this has nothing redeemable. He was like an asshole from the beginning, and is an asshole as he's dragged off by the police. He's trying to overthrow Michael Beck, who's clearly the hottie patati. Mm-hmm. And the boss, but every 2 minutes it's just a series of bad choices followed by more bad choices. James
it's like he never wanted to run either. Like there'll be like 30 gang members coming to get him, and he's like, "Why are we running?" And he's constantly dropping F slurs on his gang. What are we all, a bunch of F? I don't even want to say it, but it's like he says bad things. He's a bad dude. He's a gang member. So if there's any gang members,
he's a bad dude.
He's a bad dude.
I think one of the most effective things is the DJ. You just see a close-up of these lips on a microphone with a red-black backdrop where she's dropping threats and playing songs, warning all the gang people where to look for the warriors. And then she plays Nowhere to Run. I mean, she's amazing. She's amazing. She worked in children's television for years and years and years.
Lynn Thigpen is her name, and she's been in a shit ton of stuff. She's been in a ton of stuff. But I like that there's a dedicated gang radio station where they could send each other secret messages. But evidently the orphans, there's one of the shittier street gangs who were not invited to the summit. We're like, wait a minute, what are you saying? There was a party we weren't invited to? They evidently don't even listen to that radio station. They had no idea that the Warriors were on the run. So,
and then that chick, is that
that's Jackie,
a sister? Is Jackie a sister? She's just a girl from the neighborhood who just basically is demanding that people have sex with her at all times.
Her role in this made absolutely no sense. Right, the Warriors are trying to get.
They needed to throw Michael back a lady, and it couldn't have been the Lizzies.
Couldn't be the Lizzies. Well, it's basically they go to this summit in the Bronx where Cyrus, who's the leader of the biggest gang in New York, he's like, we're all gonna unite together and I guess take over New York. Is that bit like we'll
100,000 of us, 20,000 cops? Yeah. They're going to have to ask our permission if they want to do anything, which, if you think about it, I mean, if you think about a school, if the kids organize, we're all in deep shit.
Well, we've talked about this before. What kids sometimes figure out is that if they say no, what are you going to do about it? There's really not much we can do about it. We can call the house and say your child is being defiant, but if the parents go like, not my angel, not my little Rhoda, then there's not much you can do, right?
Rhoda would never kill an old lady. Never. Not my Rhoda.
Never. Not my Rhoda. So now understand, if there was street gang violence in the city, they'd send in the National Guard. they sent in soldiers. It would just be like, oh, well, Escape from New York, I guess it's come early this year, right? It wouldn't just be like, people would do some shit, especially if it's just like street gangs. It's kind of a ridiculous premise. But Cyrus, this was terrifying in the 70s. Honestly, this idea that the street gangs are going to take over was terrifying in New York in the 70s. So that was a thing. Now, David Patrick Kelly, who was in a ton of shit, Dreamscape, among other things, he kills Cyrus, pulls out a gun because you're not supposed to bring guns to the summit or any weapons at all, kills him, blames it on the Warriors because one of the Warriors, the lesser Warriors, saw him do it.
Saw him. Yeah.
Right. So he blames it on the Warriors. It's not until 2 hours later, somebody goes, hey man, why'd you shoot Cyrus? He's like, I don't know. I just like doing shit like that. Like, that was it. That was the whole thought process.
Because I'm crazy.
Yes.
And you've elected me your leader. I'm the Joker. I'm the 1970s Joker.
100%. So now,
why would anyone work for the Joker?
Doesn't seem like a good plan, right? There's not a lot of room for growth.
Methinks not.
So the Warriors have to travel from the Bronx back to their turf in Coney Island. And there's only 9 of them. And then it quickly becomes 8 because their leader, Cleon, gets killed by the Gramercy Riffs thinking that he murdered their guy. So now the war chief, Michael Beck, Swan, has to lead the gang across, like, every neighborhood has its own gang. Essentially, every neighborhood across the island of Manhattan has got its own gang. So good luck. Good luck getting from point A to point B. There's going to be somebody trying to get
People are setting that. I love how there's literally no other humans on the street except for the gangs. There is no one on the subway except at one point where a wedding party rolls in and they just stare at them. I'm like, is that what they do in New York? You just stare at the dirty people, like make extreme eye contact? I'm like, it's not.
It was kind of interesting because they arrive, and I think it was like maybe prom or some shit. It was something like that, where it was like the 2 guys dressed up with 2 girls kind of dressed up, and they look across and there's Swan, and the character I will refer to as just Jackie, because that was her character's name on Too Close for Comfort, who are just filthy and gross. And at one point, Jackie tries to like straighten her hair, and Swan like stops her from straightening up. Like, it was just kind of like, what? This is us. What you gonna do? We're a street gang.
This is it. Yeah.
Make no mistake.
Don't try to pretty up for them folk. And of 100%. Course, as good sense, the train stops and that couple is like, let's pop out of here.
Deuces.
I think this is our stop. Yeah, we'll wait for the next train.
This is it. I love the kind of, there's like this montage of all the various gang members show up. There's these guys wearing like purple satin jackets and purple hats. And then there's like literally mimes show up and they're like, Marcel Marceau. I'm like, there's a mime gang? Is that supposed to? I'm not giving you my wallet, mime.
He's gonna mime him stabbing you and 100%. Raping your wife.
I'm in a box. What am I gonna do? And there's like most of the guys is just like, our gang colors is we all wear coveralls. It's like, okay, that's interesting. Fair enough.
Roller skates and striped rugby shirts.
100%.
But then there are people in like satin outfits, but really, the skinheads, the Nation of Islam, and then the baseball players. They were the most terrifying ones.
They were the best. But you're right. Some of them was just like, hey, we all wear green t-shirts. Okay?
That's the orphans. And they're dirty and wrinkly.
Now, the Warriors all wore monogrammed leather vests. And depending on their level of activity, sometimes they wore a tank top under it. Sometimes not necessary. You're gonna see it all. Enjoy.
That's right. It's the 70s. and Mr. Swan was like stripped down. There was like no fat on his body whatsoever, so he had to
Not
flex
at all.
that.
100%. It was James Remar, totally ripped, and Michael Beck, totally ripped.
I wonder how old James Remar was in this. He must have been a baby.
He looks young. His voice is still like deep as hell, still deep and raspy.
But he has a Dorothy Hamill haircut.
It was the look. It was the look. So every gang in town is after them. And the cops are also just arresting gang members on the street. There's a big crackdown, I guess.
I mean, there was a murder. there was a murder.
There was a murder,
and now maybe more.
The cops arrived to the summit like in advance of the murder, so they were already like going to start throwing people in the back of the paddy wagons. And interestingly enough, as the Warriors are trying to get through New York, one of the only murders that they suffer is at the hands of the cops. They throw that son of a bitch on the train tracks right before the subway comes, and that's the end of that dude. It's like, okay, fare thee well. Sad, sad situation. They get split up. You know, the three of them go in with the Lizzies and are making out with them before the girls all pull out knives and guns.
Yeah. I mean, they go back to check on James Remar. I was like, that seemed like a bad choice. Oh, you know, he saved us. We should go check on him. He's having sex. And then, three of them get sucked in by the Lizzies.
Yep.
Death or free sex. We're going for the free sex. And then there's that one dude who he really didn't look like he was going for the chick thing anyway. But he was like, these gals seem like they're really more interested in dancing with each other. He's like, Starts sidling his way out before the door slams shut.
100%. Now I will say this:
angry lesbians with switchblades.
There were afros up the yin yang. I mean, these were afros like you wouldn't believe, right? It was like Dr. J would be like, "That's a goddamn afro." Like honestly. This was the 70s. This was Afro town.
Everybody with curly hair. We're not just talking about black people.
No.
We have our Latin friends. Maybe there was a strawberry blonde. If you could pick it out, you were picking it out.
100%. There were white dudes who had the horse shack, essentially just picking out those curls, doing it.
The bigger 100%. The hair, the better.
You better believe it. So the Warriors go through a series of misadventures. Jackie, as I said, it makes her connection. They pick her up along the way. And then like she's running from the cops or she's running from the street gang. It's like, they're not after you. Why are you, right? Why are you putting,
but she is constantly one step away of getting the rape from either the people she's with, James Remar, or any of these other fools.
Well, she was literally ready to go with Michael Beck in the filthy, like, train tunnel. Like, she's like, let's do this. And he's like, what? He's like, I know we're all running for our lives.
Why you gotta be a whore?
Well, and frankly, the most upsetting thing in this movie is the extended makeout scene between the two of them, where it's just face to face, eating each other with like the camera 6 inches away. I was like, Jesus Christ. Let's get on with our lives before I toss my cookies. Sweet
but
Jesus.
It is super weird that after a makeout and she wants to have sex, he's like shocked by such a statement.
It was unclear what his motivation was. You're right. It was like he's like, look, I just like to kiss, hon. I'm waiting for marriage for the rest of the stuff. Okay, this is Rumspringa. Something along those lines. Sweet Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, what else you got for the Warriors? Anything else?
What I thought was weird is when they finally make it to Coney Island, and I mean, it's not beautiful, but he was like, we fought all that to get back to here, and all I kept thinking, at least you're at the beach.
100%.
Well, and now you have picked up a woman. So now I guess she's going to live with you and your parents. How old are you? I feel like, don't you age out of street games? Are you still in a gang at 50, or do you actually get a job at some point?
Hey, until your last dying day, like they said,
Dude, blood in, blood out.
blood in, blood out, colors. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. No, I mean, but that's the thing. It's like there's literally only 6 warriors, and they picked up Jackie, so I don't know if she counts. If she's the 7th warrior.
No, all the gangs were only allowed to bring 9 people.
But they lost 3 on the way back.
Yeah.
They lost. Cleon got murdered. The leader got murdered there in the Bronx.
Right.
Homie, who knew about all the other gangs, got tossed on the tracks by the cops. And James Remar, Rapey McRaperson, gets arrested for, believe it or not, attempted rape. So they're
He'll
down.
Be back soon enough.
100%. I think if everyone's trying to murder me, I would just say, cops, feel free to take me downtown. Right?
How did all the other gangs manage to meet up with their people to go hunt the warriors, but the warriors back at home are all sleeping in bed and haven't gotten word that their people are in trouble?
Are there any other warriors back home? Unclear. Right?
I mean, the orphans had 30 people.
Yes. 30.
So there has to be, and they consider them like a ding dong crowd, like not much of anything. And the warriors are a heavy operation.
If literally the rogues, the psychos, and the leather can like just walk in and fuck with you, I don't know what kind of street gang you are, right? If like anybody could just go to Coney Island and just start stabbing you, then are you even a gang at that point? I don't know.
They all look like they were in that metal band. They have that album British Steel.
You have to give me more than
What
that.
am I asking you?
So
What am I
let's
asking
Google that.
you?
No, I liked that the Warriors basically look like Aaron Neville's backup band, right? Although the leather vest, sometimes a shirt, sometimes not.
Who's dressed like Judas Priest?
Yes, of course. Quiet Riot. How about that?
It was not Quiet Riot. They're dressed like the lead singer of Judas Priest. How dare you?
Fair. Anyway, anything else about the Warriors? Should we get on with our lives?
I have to tell you.
Please.
I thought it was still pretty good.
It was very entertaining. It was very.
I thought so too. I mean, considering there's really not a lot of violence. This thing had buzz. They were not going to show it in certain cities because people were rioting.
Yes.
It highly entertaining. And the music was great. They got Joe Walsh to do the end song. I mean, it's a thing.
It is absolutely.
There's some iconic shit.
No question. And again, at the end, this is a 70s snapshot. When Michael Beck is #1 over the title, that's a very tight window. That's a tight. Yeah. Beck wasn't doing shit in the late 80s. Let me tell you that. Okay?
Dude. But for a brief moment, he was hot shit. He rolled right into Xanadu, Brother 100%. Bear.
100%.
The neon lights were shining for him, Xanadu. They were.
And that was pretty much it.
Yep.
I defy you. What's your third favorite Michael Beck performance? How about that?
And quite frankly, Xanadu is trash. But it has an amazing soundtrack.
Oh, I love that.
It's trash.
Good stuff.
But it's amazing. You got the Tubes. You got ELO. Yep. You got what the her name is?
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
You had Gene Kelly dancing and doing his thing.
That's where the car runs off the tracks.
Good stuff. No, I say my favorite Olivia Newton-John is that late 70s Newton-John. I want just post Grease, but before Let's Get Physical. By the time they get to Let's Get Physical, I'm out. I want Magic. That's the level of Newton-John that I want. So there you go.
Dude, I saw her 20 years ago here in town and she had the voice of a baby angel. She was so good. She was so good.
100%. Let's go behind the scenes, shall we?
Let's go.
David Patrick Kelly improvised Luther's come out to play a taunt, basing it on an intimidating neighbor of his. How about that?
I'm going to have to put a pause here.
Yes.
But we forgot one of Shaq Daddy's greatest paraphrases of all time. Can you dig it?
I remember watching
I was like,
that.
because I remember Shaq Daddy saying that, but I completely forgot it was from this movie.
100%.
I was like, oh,
yep. The Lakers had just won the championship in 2000, and at the, I don't know what it was, the big old parade at the end, he went up on stage and said, "Can you dig it?" It was great. I knew exactly what he was doing. It was hilarious. That if you did not love Shaq before that, you had to fall in love with him at that moment. Because it was just
Who
like,
doesn't love
100%.
the Shaq Daddy? Come
100%.
on, come on,
100%.
beloved. I don't even follow basketball. What team did he play on? I don't know, but I love Shaq.
It does not matter. 100%.
It does not matter. Continue on.
The original poster featured the words, "These are the armies of the night. They are 100,000 strong. They outnumber the cops 5-1. They could run New York City." This upset and outraged many people. Some tried to have the film banned based upon that tagline.
100%. Dude, it was buzzing at the time. They must have made a fortune.
Oh, 100%. In one take, Michael Beck swings a bat at Deborah Van Valkenburg's face. She had to rush to the hospital at 3 a.m. and get stitches and still has the scar, courtesy of Michael Beck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was an accident, allegedly. Vermin was scripted to be killed by the Lizzies, but Terry Michos, who played Vermin, made his character more comical and thus more memorable. The ploy worked, and his death scene was taken out. He had to survive. The film trucks were protected by a real gang called the Mongrels for $500 a day.
There you go.
Oh,
so it's really nonfiction. Is that what you're saying?
100%. James Remar earned his role as Ajax after becoming so involved in the audition reading of the park bench scene that he lifted the massive table around where the director and producers were seated. And they were impressed, evidently.
We all love James Remar.
President Ronald Reagan was a fan of the film, even calling the film's lead actor, Michael Beck, to tell him he'd screened it at Camp David and enjoyed it. How about that?
What's not to enjoy?
100%. The crew once got urinated upon from a tower block due to the noise they were creating in the night.
Good old New York.
There are a list of like 100 different street gang names that were in the script. Including the Amsterdam All-Stars, the East Street Blazers, let's see, the Hi-Hats, the Jones Street Boys, the 9th Avenue Razors. It's like
the Hi-Hats literally carry a top hat. What kind of a gang? I guess they're like, we're starting to run out of ideas.
Sweet Jesus. Newcomers were cast to create the feel of real people caught in dangerous situations. The cast felt like they were a gang before filming started. How about that?
All right.
Walter Hill, the director, originally wanted the Warriors to be an all-black gang. Producers disagreed. So, there you go. Let's see. Crew members were sent death threats because local gangs were not cast. Thousands of dollars worth of equipment were damaged when one gang tore through the set during a lunch break. How about that?
Broad daylight.
Yep. 100%. According to the filmmakers, the film was going to be a big hit after the movie was #1 at the box office charts, despite negative reviews from the critics. It earned $3.5 million in its opening weekend. However, word of mouth and a couple of incidents killed the film's momentum. According to Walter Hill, what had happened were gangs were attracted to the film. They had seen their rival gangs and caused violent incidents. Just like Boys in the Hood. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And an original narration was planned, voiced by Orson Welles. But they did not do that.
Shut up. That sounds awful.
Let's look at the cast and crew, shall we? Directed by Walter Hill. I really enjoy Walter Hill. He does a ton of stuff I like.
Such as?
I will tell you. 48 Hours. Writer-director, 1982. Right. He was a producer in Aliens, 1986, and Alien 3, 1992. He wrote and directed Streets of Fire. You know that one, don't you?
It had a good song, though.
It did have a good song. It was, oh, Jesus Christ. I can dream about you. There it is. It came to me.
If I can hold you tonight.
That's a banger. Let's see. Other things that he directed. The Warriors, Southern Comfort, which I always enjoyed in 1981. 48 Hours, Streets of Fire. Extreme Prejudice, 1987. Red Heat, 1988. All sorts of good stuff.
All right.
Maybe I don't really like him that much. let's look at the cast. Sweet Lord.
Never mind.
He's kind of an underrated director. He's got a few
well, you've just told me his things, so now I know why he's underrated. Continue.
Michael Beck played Swan, war chief of the Warriors. You know him from The Warriors in 1979. He played Sonny Malone in Xanadu in 1980. He was in Megaforce in 1982. You know it, don't you? No, we don't.
No, we don't.
And he was a voice actor in the German dub of Penguins of Madagascar.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
In the German dub.
Wah, wah. James Remar played Ajax. You know him from such things as Sex and the City, A Farewell, playing himself. 20 episodes.
He was Samantha's boyfriend.
He was. He was in 20 episodes of Dexter Resurrection, 2025-26.
Yeah. Dexter's
Henry
daddy.
Stimson in Oppenheimer in 2023. And Welcome to Derry, 7 episodes. I've read these recently because we recently discussed The Phantom, which also stars James Remar.
And Tales from the Dark Side, which also stars
Oh my
James
God,
Remar.
you're absolutely right. It's like a never-ending James Remar-a-thon.
It's the James Remar podcast.
Deborah Van Valkenburg played Mercy in The Warriors. You know her for The Warriors, 1979. She was in Streets of Fire in 1984. She was in 1 episode of Quantum Leap in 1993.
I used to like Quantum Leap.
She was in 107 episodes of Too Close for Comfort, playing Jackie Rush. That's Ted Knight's daughter on Too Close for Comfort. How about that?
Yeah.
See, he was a cantankerous cartoonist whose wacky daughters live downstairs, and for some reason, Jim J. Bullock moves in as well, causing conflict.
Clearly not married to one of the daughters, though.
Clearly not married. I don't know.
And it all takes place in San Francisco, if I recall.
100%. Oh, I got to do. David Patrick Bullock. Kelly played Luther. He's funny because he was in a lot of Walter Hill movies, always playing a character named Luther. It's weird. I can't explain it. He was in 7 episodes of Twin Peaks, playing Jerry Horn. Oh, excuse me. the new, like 2017's Twin Peaks. How about that? Yeah. He was in The Crow in 1994.
Still never seen that.
He played President Truman in The Flags of Our Father in 2006. That was a Clint Eastwood joint. He was in The Last Man Standing in 1996. I always remember him because he was in Dreamscape opposite Dennis Quaid. Loved him in that. He was also in Commando, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, where Schwarzenegger holds him by his ankle over like a cliff, and the guy goes, "I thought you said you'd kill me last." And Schwarzenegger goes, "I lied," and just drops him. That's the end of him. That's his thing. Any other cast members you want to know about from the Warriors?
No.
That was basically it. Let's take a look at the rating for the Warriors on Rotten Tomatoes. Currently, 88% certified.
Yes.
Do you know what the audience gave it?
78.
88. They all converges. They all agree.
They all agree. I'm telling you. It is. It's got some good music. It's got some good visuals. It's not Rapey McRaperson like you would expect from this kind of era movie. No.
Fair. No nudity.
Fun for the whole family. No nudity.
It's got like fighting violence.
Quite frankly, they don't have to do a lot of effort to get home.
They do have to catch the train a couple times. And there's some tension. Am I going to get on there in time? There's a scene that I found hilarious at the beginning of this movie where the street gangs are all making their way to the big summit. And they show a gang member going to the window, getting the subway, buying the subway tokens and putting the tokens in so all the people can go. Really? You're a street gang. You jumped the turnstile. Anyway.
Which is what everyone did leaving the thing.
Yeah, 100%.
It helps when there's absolutely no one in the train station, on the train, on the streets, anywhere at all.
Let's take a look at the top critics. Roger Ebert. That's 2 out of 4. He says, no matter what impression the ads give, this isn't even remotely intended as an action film. It's a set piece. It's a ballet of stylized male violence. He didn't care for it, evidently.
Apparently not. I can never tell with some of these reviews. Is that a good ballet? Is it a bad ballet?
Pauline
like
Kael.
I said, it wasn't that violent.
It isn't. Pauline Kael of the New Yorker says, there's a night-blooming psychedelic shine to the whole Baroque movie.
It's a Baroque movie? Come
Baroque.
On, Pauline.
I think it's more Rococo, if I'm being honest. But thank you for that, Pauline. That's a positive review, by the way. Janet Maslin of the New York Times says, Mr. Hill uses subways, jukeboxes, spectacularly eerie costumes, and deserted streets to create a stark yet extravagant visual style and a grimy little world in which everything looks curiously brand new. I guess that's a positive review as well. Unclear.
I didn't see anything look brand new, so I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I don't know what they're saying. But there's one reviewer we can always count on, and that is our in-house movie critic, AI Rex Reed. Let's see what he has to say.
Let's go.
The Warriors is a neon-soaked comic book fever dream where face-painted gang members roam a lawless New York that looks less like Urban Decay and more like a disco-themed hostage situation.
They could have all been going to Studio 54. It is true.
They should have been, in all honesty. Aaron, what is your review of The Warriors?
I gotta say, it really held up, and I thought it was entertaining. It was fun. I'm gonna give it 3.75 out of 5.
I'm knocking on that same door. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I don't know if this is like keep it in the rotation. I don't need to see this every year on Christmas. But it was a refreshing little treat that I wouldn't mind popping in and checking out again in the future. Just not.
Well, totally. I mean, as we learned here, when you go look at a movie from your youth, a lot of times they do not hold up, and you're like, "What the hell was I thinking? I clearly was mentally ill during that period of my life." But no, this was still fun. It was still fun.
Good stuff. It is good stuff. So yeah, and just watch it and see how many street gangs you can count, and drink every time you see a new street gang, and see how many bottles of booze you go through before you have to be rushed to the hospital.
I mean, this seems like a fun idea for a party. You gotta come as one of the gang members from Warriors. Wouldn't that be a fun party?
But you can't come as a Warrior or as a Baseball Fury, just to make it challenging. You got to be one of the AC Turnbulls.
Now you've lost it. AC Turnbull.
The Gramercy Riffs.
The AC Turnbulls and the Gramercy. Those had great names too.
100%. Well, it's the name of the neighborhood, and then you're the Furies or whatever the hell. Where were the Baseball Furies from? Yankee Stadium? I mean, they all come. They come out of
the tunnel like the Chud.
They 100%
underneath Yankee Stadium.
They were coming out of the subway tunnel, and it was literally like it was the dugout, where it's like they have all their bats lined up against the wall. They come up one right after the other. Sweet Jesus. And then they get their asses kicked. So how good could they have been, I guess?
Lickety split.
Lickety split. So, any last thoughts about the Warriors before we move on?
No, check it out, kids. Check it out.
Check it out. So thank you very much. You can find us all across social media. We're on Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. You can see our smiling faces on YouTube if you're so inclined. Ooh la la. You can email us the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review. Won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
I have much media. I have some artwork on Artsy First Dibs, Instant Dreams Gallery, Aaron Doherty. And I'm on Instagram, The Cult of Aaron. Join the cult.
Join that cult. As you know, we like to scour the internet, see what our friends and family have got to say about all this good stuff. Aaron, what are the streets saying?
So, as I discussed earlier, I posted something, my hot take on Hokum, and there were some people who did not agree with me. I put, "What the hell were they doing? Too much nonsense. Another let's throw everything together movie." And people started writing in.
Oh shit.
In case someone's looking for another point of view, I thought it was quite good.
Did you say we weren't looking for another point of view, Karen? Keep it to yourself.
Apparently, let's see what else. Bad take. I said, not my cup of tea. And it's me, Ka3. That's fair. It seems it mainly works for people who love Caveat and Terrified. Have you heard of those movies?
No. Caveat or Terrified? I've heard of Terrifier, but it's a Terrified.
It says Terrified. And It's Me, CA says, I understand then, since you haven't seen those movies, that you would not understand. I said, bro. I said, oh no. I said, no. This movie sucks. Okay. And I go back to my original thing of lack of critical thinking.
And you know what?
Is it a murder mystery or is it a witch? If there's a witch, then I want to know who's the witch. Why is the witch? Why is the room
Which
locked
witch?
up if the witch is in the basement? Which witch?
Don't
Which way?
I've never seen this movie, and some people may. Don't be like, just don't pull a Shyamalan
I'm saving
twist.
you.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm saying no. Try. You wish there was a Shyamalan twist.
I do
You
not.
wish.
In fact, next week we're going to be discussing the classic cinema Brainstorm with Christopher Walken and with Natalie Woods in this one as well. This is her last
film. This is supposedly where they were having the affair that caused her husband to put her into a rage, and she got. It sounds like a bunch of people who drink too much and fight.
Yeah, that'll do it every time. So
yeah,
anywho,
on a boat.
We may have a special guest next week. I always like. I don't want to say who they are in case there's some last minute cancellation, but we should have a special guest visiting us for the episode Brainstorm. It could be anybody. It could be nobody. We'll have to wait and see how it works out. So, where can you watch Brainstorm, you ask? Well, that's an amazing question.
That's a good question. I was going to ask you that exact thing.
Free nowhere. You can rent it for $2.99 on Prime, Apple TV, YouTube, Fandango. Yeah, so just $2.99. So it's a little bit of a discount. How about that? So send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So
boom.
Thank you very much, and be well.
Be well.